And I was surprised that the brother spoke so freely about Champ, because he spoke about Champ in a way that he had to know him. He had him all the way down. But Champ was a very private person, so even in this context that I'm speaking on, I'm only speaking in general. But when I said something about Champ, you know I wasn't there, but Champ is a friend of mine. Feist is a friend of mine. Buddy Love is a friend of mine. Wendell, all these dudes was dudes that was a part of, you know, helping me grow while I was in prison. And they were in Pollock at the time, all right? So most of my knowledge, just like your knowledge, would come from a person you interview like that. Mine's coming from my friends that was there. However, New Orleans and D.C., for some reason at that point in time, before that dude told that story, even before he got there, it had been clashes between New Orleans and D.C. I mean, people didn't even lost their life. I didn't hear him mention that, but one or two people had even died in some of those clashes at other points in time, just in that Pollock situation. We can skip all that part, right, and go to the thing what he said about Champ. When I heard the thing that he said about Champ, everybody kept sending it to me, and it just sounded like Champ. And I noticed that a lot of times in the feds, everybody are forced or compelled to use these words like leader and shot caller. If you know anything about DC culture, we shy away from things that say shot caller and leader. Like shot callers and leaders are always made by someone else here. Like I don't really know too many dudes that assume a position of leader or shot caller, and that's bona fide what they are. But I'm not gonna say that some dudes don't lead more than others. In that situation right there, from what he said and from what I said, I think they interpret that as Champ being a dude from Washington, D.C. that was known not to play no games, as the dude said. He said he never seen a dude that was a quote-unquote shot caller stepping on the yard saying, what's up with you? If you ain't with it, get out the way. What I will say about Champ that some people don't know is Champ gonna step like that by himself. So that's what I was pretty much telling you now. If it's 5, 10, 15, 20, a lot of dudes will be looking at the yard. And there's another thing I want to make a point about. If it's 300 DC dudes on the yard, dudes be talking like all 300 of them is the people that's doing. If it's 300 dudes on the yard, it's about 30 of them that's rocking, bro. Have you seen that yourself, KC? It's not the whole everybody who was from Washington, D.C. is rocking.
Man, to be honest with you, when I was doing my time, I did all mine at the FCI. Man, we had no problem. Everybody got along.
Okay,
shit.
Understand. Like
that's how I learned about the Moors. That's how I learned about the Moors side temple.
Say it again.
That's how I learned about the Moors and stuff like that from talking with dude from DC, going into some of their programs and stuff like that. Cause I be wanting to know, you know.
Yeah, like some of the things me and Ronnie Red be talking about, people get it misconstrued. We talking about it on a penitentiary level. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm saying that I'd have been on a compound with 600 guys from Washington, D.C. We done got into something, and it's only been 50 dudes that made a move. Like, it's never the whole thing. A lot of times I look at it like, it's 600 of them, oh my God. Bro, 600 people don't move on North Korea nowhere unless you're in North Korea.
Right.
So let's get that clear. So I say that to go and address something else, and I don't really want to get too controversial. But when dudes use numbers, when people use things like 9 out of 10 DC guys or 90% of DC guys, bruh, that's what you call hyperbole. They are exaggerating, bruh. You're not going to find 90 people on the court, 90% of people on the court from no geographical location. So let's say we're at an institution and there's 1,800 people at the institution and 300 of those people are from Alaska, Cambridge, okay? And one of those guys have a drug habit. There's nowhere in the world you can ever say that every guy I met from Cambridge has a drug habit. Bruh, I don't think you ever met every DC dude, and this goes for the dudes that classify everything that the DC dude do, good as bad, for the whole population. Bruh, if it's 1,800 people on the compound and there's 200 from DC, and dudes say 9 out of 10 and 90% of them, 9 out of 10 times and 90% of the time, you don't even know 100% of the people. Let's keep that real.
Right, because you ain't vibing with everybody, not on no daily basis anyway.
It's DC niggas that be in the prison with me that I have never spoke to. So how can I speak on what every single person from a geographical area is doing?
Yeah, that's just how it is. Like when I was on my con, I probably only really knew 10 guys from Florida that I know I can point out, but I can see when a crowd, you know, because you don't vibe with everybody. It's just what it is. Yeah, I mean, you don't vibe with everybody on the compound. You don't got time to.
We was coming from Lawton. You might know everybody there, but it was dudes that had been in the feds 20 years before I got there that I didn't know, didn't even meet.
Shit, you do that at a state joint, you ain't gonna know everybody on the compound.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, that's not really an anomaly. That's the thing. I mean, and then keep in mind, like, I don't know how much they shipped you around, but I done been to like 13, 14 different prisons. I've met tens of thousands of people. I don't even remember everybody I met during that journey.
Mm-hmm. And your journey started out of law.
I see that a lot of people say that the DC and New Orleans thing came from there, and I can't speak on so much of it because I wasn't there, and I don't want to perpetrate like I was. But what I will say is everywhere where I've been, where there's been guys from guys from Louisiana, New Orleans. Guys was sort of like, I'm not going to call them the cream of the crop or the ones that made the decision, but they were the ones that we communicated with when we had issues with Louisiana. Can you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'd have met a hell of a man out of Shreveport, although that guy wasn't from Shreveport. He was really from New York, but he been stuck in Shreveport since he was young. So he repped Shreveport, right? But he was a bona fide man. But as I think about it, I got to really credit New York because that's where he came from. But yeah, everywhere that I've been, I just look at it like that. And to my knowledge, like the dude you interviewed said, and some of my homies said, that even when the Dirty South dudes had, formed or united in whichever way they want to say it, New Orleans still was standing on their own. It's almost like being in being in the Maryland state prison system. A guy from Baltimore may join another group, but he technically does not have to. Baltimore is going to be the cream of the crop of that state. That's the state that produced the most blacks. And the city that produced the most blacks and the city that produced the most people that go to prison.
Right, for sure.
You're not going to come to Baltimore. I keep saying Baltimore because it's still synonymous in my head. You would not be a person from where you from, Casey, come up here and God forbid get caught, catch a hump and go to the Maryland Department of Corrections, okay? If you went to the Maryland Department of Corrections, you came home and you were talking to people where you from, you explaining, you would always say something about Baltimore, BGF, or Murder, Inc. Because those are going to be the groups that's going to be predominantly in control, bro. There's politics everywhere, from the penitentiary to the camp.
Yeah, so Baltimore and Maryland got a big prison system up there?
It's just where you from. Like, you from Florida. Y'all got a major prison system. Maryland has a major prison system. Texas, all these big state locks bunches of people up. They lock people up in the hundreds of thousands number.
Okay, but so y'all so close to Maryland, why they don't ship y'all to some of the Maryland state prisons?
They can't because, as you know, you from a state. A state is governed by the governor. We are a United States problem, which is why we're always in the feds. That's what people keep saying. D.C. needs its own prison. As a person from D.C. that has family and friends scattered all over the country, sure, I can agree with that. But technically, D.C. don't need its prison because it's not a state. So if the federal system is governed by the United States Department of Justice, if you commit a crime and you prosecuted by the U.S. attorney, their prison system is the feds.
Right.
They created a pseudo prison system here, which we call the D.C. Department of Corrections, so that they wouldn't flood the feds with us for decades and decades, which is the problem now. But the problem is now is nothing but history repeating itself. Lord only was in existence for 91 years, bro. The country has been in existence for almost 400.
Yeah.
You dig? So if Lord was only in existence for 91 years, and the prison system, the modern prison system, they say was created in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Like, we could go back to Easton and Pennsylvania. I know my prison history, but the modern prison system is only about 100 or some years old, and Lord existed for 91 years.
Right. Shit. Hey, man, y'all want to know anything about D.C. history? Federal time, y'all need to check out DC Blacks, man. Eyone, he gonna fill you in. That's what he do.
Appreciate that,
man. That's what he do, and he has pushed his platform forward. Hit like, follow, subscribe, go check him out. And like I said, you want to get educated on what's going on in the inside. You want to save your kids, you want to save your cousin, or you just want to know how it is on the inside. Check us out, man. That's what we're doing over here. Hey, man, appreciate your time, man. I know you probably want to look at the game and stuff, man.
I'm tapping with you, man. We're going to do another Zoom one soon, all right?
Yeah. What them Redskins going to do this year, man?
Well, I think we something like 4-2, so whatever we do, we're going to be in the running. I'm such a real Washington fan that I know not to say nothing early.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to see what's up with that.
All right, man. I'll holler at you.
All right.